of the lone chipmunks. I'm gonna point this way. This way. This is Nat, who's
I'm Nat.
awesome. This is Nat.
Thank you.
Um, so we've got a doozy of an episode, so we have to talk about 4 Daredevil episodes. Now,
Yeah.
originally I was going to split this up, but we got Punisher tomorrow. So I'm like, well, we got to talk about Punisher next week. So
Yeah.
I'm like, we're just going to get through Daredevil and we're going to see how long this live is. So, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I was thinking that we could just like open discussion, like everything.
Okay.
Like we didn't even have
Okay.
to talk about each individual episode,
Don't
but
go
it's your
episode
show.
by
It's up to
episode.
you.
Yeah. It's a freewheeling discussion. Okay. Fantastic.
So spoilers, if anyone is
Yeah,
watching
100%
later.
spoilers. Yeah, if anybody hops on here, 100% spoilers. If you haven't watched the season, sorry, you're gonna have to go watch the season before you watch this. If you're gonna watch this, or you don't have to. I mean, we could just spoil away, whatever. Um, okay, so I will get out some thoughts before I forget it, because
Okay.
I that happens with me. So episode 5 was insane with the fact that it didn't start with Vanessa being dead. She was still
Yeah.
alive, went through surgery. Now, unfortunately, I've had personal experience with that kind of thing. The brain injury stuff was extremely accurate as far as that, you know, someone will come out of that surgery maybe okay and everything's bueno, and then all of a sudden when you think everything's cool, like boom, they're just gone, because that's just
Yeah.
how complex the brain is, right? Like as soon as she repeated like, oh, can you tell me the story of how we met, I thought, okay, like either it's going to be a crash and burn situation, or she's not going to be able to retain any, like, she hasn't retained all her old memories, and maybe she won't be able to retain new memories. So
Yeah.
with her being the criminal mastermind that she was, that's that she's gonna have a handicap, right? That's what I thought could possibly happen. But as soon as she started flatlining, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So um to give an example, unfortunately, my mom had an aneurysm. She recovered, and then we had some other complications, and then it just went all bad. But when she went through the first surgery and she came out, the surgeon, who was incredible, he talked to my dad, and he told my dad, excuse me, he told my dad, there's about a 10-day period, and he said, I lost somebody on the 9th day, so we're not out of the woods yet. And I don't, be hopeful, but I don't want to give you false hope that we're completely out of the woods, because the
Mhm.
brain is a very sensitive thing. So when that happened with Vanessa, I said, wow, like that is so accurate. Like that is
Yeah.
incredibly accurate. And I mean, it's heartbreaking because she came back, and then
Yeah.
I said, both you and I were like, oh no. I mean, you and I were both like, oh no, after episode 4, right? Because
Yeah.
we were all like, I'm like, coma? And you said, I think she's dead, dude. Like, that's
And
a
we were
lot of
both right.
blood. Like I'm all like, I don't want to face a world where Fisk does not have Vanessa to keep him on a leash.
Yeah.
It's very frightening. So, um,
But we were both right. So
yeah, we were. We
which
were.
is not expected, but that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, and it's interesting because uh I don't know, it's probably just coincidental, but it's interesting because with Wonder Man, kind of the flashback episode was right in the middle.
Mhm.
And I don't know, did you see Wonder Man?
No, I haven't
Okay.
yet. I
Okay,
will,
so
but
so
I
in,
just haven't.
in the middle there's kind of a pivot.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that I have with Marvel shows is that they go flashback time, and you're like, oh, that kind of like kills the whole momentum of the show. But in Wonder
Yeah.
Man, it does it. It does this pivot. I don't want to ruin it for you. It does
Yeah.
this pivot, and you're like, oh wow, that really enhances the story. And once it brings you
Yeah.
back to present day, you can see the gravity of the story that they told that was in the flashback and how it affects the present and how it moves the story forward and helps explain things more. This I thought was very effective in showing how instrumental and key that both Foggy and Vanessa were to each their
Yeah.
counterparts. Um, Foggy, I mean, it broke my heart because Foggy's such a good guy. You know,
Yeah.
this guy that bullied him and everything else, and he said, "No, they screwed up. There was
Yeah.
one technicality that they screwed up on, which was his address. I know the address because I was friends with his brother and I
Yeah.
know where that building is." So Matt was like, let the dude burn. Like, he's an asshole. Excuse my language. But um, you can tell that, with Matt also being the whole Catholic, layer to it, as well as that Foggy was his moral center. And that's
Yeah.
why he spun out the way that he did. And then on the other side of the coin, it's Vanessa with Fisk, right? Now, I thought that was very interesting how I think it was both her and Bullseye that referred to it as the grand design. Basically fate, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that was very interesting how they flash back to Vanessa kind of being in a position not of power because she wasn't running the gallery, right?
Yeah.
There was that one gal that she's kind of mean. She said,
Yeah.
"Well, you know, when we sell art, that's what pays for the cute little shoes on your feet." I'm like, "Damn woman, like, you need to make a comment like that." And but it's interesting because you see a little bit of the rise of Vanessa because she makes that executive decision. No, I want to hang
Yeah.
that painting up because that painting has some significance to me. And I think we're going to be able to draw in the right person, which is exactly as she described. She said exactly
Yeah.
the lonely soul and everything, and it was Fisk, right? So uh, I thought
And
that was
not
a very
yeah.
interesting way to pretty much show how these side characters are very much the centers of of Fisk and Matt. Right? I thought
Yeah.
that was very well done. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you
Please,
didn't. Sorry.
please. No, you're good. Please add.
Oh, I was just gonna say, first of all, I really love all of that perspective, and I love how it seems like that it not only brings in the right person to like buy the painting, obviously, but it's like bringing in the right person for her, like in her life,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, it's
um
very poetic. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very poetic. I agree.
And I like what you said about, like, showing the counterparts with Vanessa and Foggy because, Fisk's light is Vanessa, like, his
Mhm.
reason for being, and Foggy is, like, not in as much of a romantic way, but, like, sort of
Yeah.
just that guiding light for him.
Mhm.
I think about season 1 of the original series a lot when Foggy finds out that he's Daredevil, and they're both just crying talking about it, not because
Mhm.
anyone was physically hurt, but just because of how like, the betrayal that they felt
Yeah.
and, like, how
Yeah.
much that was affecting their friendship, which is just so important and core to both of their
Mhm.
characters.
Totally.
Um, yeah, so I just that comparison was I don't know, it was really neat to see because they filmed the flashback stuff, they filmed it in the original series formatting too, like,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
screen
Right.
and
No, that was
the
cool.
color grading,
Mhm.
um, which was really cute, and, like, there's, like, little details in there that I noticed, like, when they were in their old office that's basically a closet, and they had little dinosaurs on top of their, like,
Oh,
computers
cool.
that was from
Yeah.
the original series.
Oh, wow.
So I love
Wow.
that that was in there. Um, I gotta get it out of my system, was not a fan of the wigs. I understand what they were trying to do, but the wigs were
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I go, yeah.
It was funny because, like, the first scene with the wigs, I was looking at Matt and I was like, "Okay, like, whatever." And then something happens in the very next scene where I was like, "Oh, it looks really bad now." And then it just continued for the rest of the episode. So I don't know
Mhm.
what happened. It was like
Yeah.
that first scene, I was like, "Okay." And then the rest of the episode, I was like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
But really, I thought that that episode specifically was one of the best episodes of TV I've seen ever. Like,
oh, cool.
I don't know, it's just so poetic and emotional and, like, just the way it all ties into, like, Foggy and Vanessa and how still these people, though they're gone, are shaping the decisions
Mhm.
made by both Fisk
Yeah,
and Matt. Still,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
why Matt decides to be who he is as Daredevil and go
Mhm.
back and save
Save
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Yep. Yep.
It's why Fisk is gonna go all in on his stuff is because he lost Vanessa.
Yeah. Right.
Um, and I guess if I can pivot a little bit, I thought so like in that very next episode, in episode 6, Fisk does not talk the entire episode until he confronts Matt again. So like
Wow.
Vanessa dies and he doesn't speak until him and Matt are confronting in his weird little basement,
Oh, wow.
which
I
I
didn't
was
even
watching
notice that.
because I was watching it and I was like, he hasn't talked. And then I like was just seeing how long it would take. He doesn't talk until he
Oh,
faces Matt again,
wow.
which I thought was such a good decision. It was just so interesting and kind of poetic that he's grieving, but he's like saving all of that anger almost like to take out on
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Um and also just we all know that Vincent D'Onofrio is a fantastic actor, but I
Mhm.
have to talk about the way that when Vanessa comes out of her coma,
Mhm.
the way that he okay, I'm gonna be a nerd. So so I listened to this interview or something. I think it was like a podcast or a YouTube video. I don't know, some sort of interview with Vincent D'Onofrio, and he was talking about how he does the voice for Kingpin.
Uh-huh.
And for Fisk, he said that he kind of carries a core emotion
Mhm.
in his voice, and for Fisk, his core emotion is anger. So even when he's happy or he's sad, like anger is kind of like the root of who he is. And it just, I think the idea is that it just kind of like sits there, and so that's why he talks like this. And it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like that's what that is to him. When Fisk is so just emotional about Vanessa coming back and so happy about her being back, the Fisk voice went away, which I thought
Mhm.
was really interesting because it
Mhm.
was like all of this anger was, like, melting off of him,
Mhm.
like, in that moment. Like, it
Yeah.
sounded more like Vincent D'Onofrio, like, when he was talking,
Totally.
but there was just, like
Totally.
it was just like a wall coming down almost, which was
Mhm.
very, very cool, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I noticed that it really took me by surprise, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
That that relief. I mean, I have experienced that relief because what happened was my mom made it out of the surgery, and
yeah,
then you go into that. Essentially, when my mom got diagnosed, they didn't know it was an aneurysm, but they're like, "Hey, she's got a brain bleed." And then
yes,
my dad very calmly turned to me and he said, "You have to talk to her sisters. You have to call her sisters right now." And I said, "Okay." And my brother was freaking out, understandably so, but
yeah,
we're just two different individuals that I didn't panic, but my brother was panicking, right? And
yeah.
I'm usually the one that goes, "Okay, if someone's panicking, I can't be the one also panicking." And then
That's me too. I'm, like, very,
maybe
like
that's why we're friends.
yeah, I'm very, like, "Alright, ground like, lock in." Like, we have
Right,
to
right,
do what we gotta
exactly.
do.
So what happened was, we get rushed to Cedar Sinai, take care of her, all this. And then when the surgeon came out and said, "Hey, turned out beautiful, she's in recovery," you know, and my cousin was there, and then I just burst out crying. And my
Mhm.
cousin immediately went to hug me, and she said, "It's okay." And I said, "I know. Finally, I can have some sort of emotion right now and
Yeah,
I can cry about it. And this is
yeah,
tears of relief, not anything of anguish right now. So
yeah,
I kind of felt that when Kingpin, the voice kind of fell away. And
yeah,
like what you said, it's cool to have that background that the anger falls away because he's just so incredibly happy to see her. And it's so
yeah,
sweet, right? He says, "I'm just so happy to see you." And she said, "Why are you talking like that? You're so silly. I've been here the entire time." It's a very sweet
yeah,
moment. You're like, this guy's a psychotic, but but
yeah,
like it's incredibly human, right?
And you truly feel so happy for him in that moment and so devastated for him when he loses her
Oh,
again.
I mean,
Even though
it
he's an
just, oh,
awful person, like,
yeah,
he just
no,
Vincent
totally.
D'Onofrio acts so well, and they have done such a great job with that character that you just feel everything for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, totally. I mean, it's like how me and my best friend talk about Killmonger. That
Yeah,
we're listening to Killmonger. And we're going, yeah, yeah, no, go, go. That makes sense. Yeah, and then he shoots his
yeah.
girlfriend in the face, and you're like,
Not
right,
that. Not that
you're
part.
you're
Don't do that.
psychotic. Yeah, right. You're like, you are psychotic. I
Yeah,
was with the cause until you did that. So with
yeah.
Kingpin,
He
I
really wasn't wrong. I mean, the shooting your girlfriend's bad, obviously. But, like, he really wasn't wrong about a lot of the other stuff. I
yeah.
was like, I kinda get it.
Right, right. So with Kingpin, I mean, he squashed the commissioner's head like a melon. He
Yeah,
has a tendency to do that with people's heads, right? He smashed that
yeah,
guy's head in a car door over
yeah,
interrupting the date with Vanessa. So,
yeah.
you know, you sit there, you're kind of like, that's a little psychotic. And but then,
Mhm.
they have I mean, that just goes to show you how good Vincent D'Onofrio is, right? That
Yeah,
you're able to go, oh no, because it is just devastating. And unfortunately, I've had an experience like that where you think we're in the clear, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden it's just boom on the turn of a dime.
yeah,
That's it, and that's how sensitive the brain is because when
yeah,
it goes to like the heart is a pump, right? Whereas the brain, it's like that surgeon. It's funny. The brain surgeon. I sat there and I said, "You need to stop talking, dude. You're saying some very profound stuff, but like I think he's the weirdo surgeon that everybody goes, look, man, we're here to like fix people. Why are you waxing philosophical right now?
Oh, the one who
But
was talking to Fisk at the
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of 6? Yeah.
yeah. And then even when he was talking to Fisk before he took Vanessa in for surgery, or maybe it was
Yeah,
after, because I don't think they met until after the surgery, about
yeah,
I think it's where the mind and the soul meet or something or other for
yeah,
the brain. And I go,
yeah,
well, that is profound. I feel like maybe you're one of those surgeons that you're way up there and you get to
yeah,
talk all philosophical like that, and the rest of the
yeah.
hospital staff is kind of
You
rolling their
you can
eyes.
have good bedside manner and not throw all of your philosophy on someone who's
Right. It's
grieving, you know?
right.
Like,
You could tell. Like I was sitting there being like, look, I understand like you're trying to have good bedside manner, but this is not the guy to talk to in that way.
yeah.
Honestly, the surgeon should not have come back in episode 6.
No. It's funny, he walked in the room and I said, "Mm," and then he touched his shoulder and I said, "Dead. He's out, like,
Yeah.
he's
And-
not coming back from
right.
this."
And that's exactly what happened, right?
Yeah.
I said, you should like here's my thing. You should not be touching people in general
You should
unless
not be
there's
touching that guy
you
specifically
should
too.
for sure you should not be touching that guy. But I'm like, oh, touching him without consent, like, and Kingpin of all people, like that is not a man that responds well to touch.
Yeah.
So I'm
Especially
like,
not then.
yeah. So when the surgeon's like, "Hey, come in for a hug," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of like extremely unprofessional too." And then he
Yeah, it's
goes
like,
in for
well,
it.
there he goes. I don't know this guy's name. He's leaving.
So yeah, uh, that was that was not surprising, and I said, "Okay, well, here we go on the rampage of Fisk." But
Yeah.
that's a very astute observation that you notice he didn't talk till the very end when Matt
Yeah.
shows up, and I
Yeah.
feel like it's interesting because especially at the end of the show, it felt like Matt and Fisk, they're not in a romantic relationship, but it's like almost like they're in some sort of toxic relationship with
Yeah.
one
No,
another.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it's not even like a parasite host kind of thing. It's they feed off of each other, right?
Yeah.
And
It's symbiotic, but it's like,
there you go. Yeah, thank you. That
yeah.
was the word I was looking for. And you sit there and you go, because I think somebody on Instagram made a joke video where Fisk was trying to play footsie with Matt at the
Yeah,
diner.
I saw that.
And I go, yeah, the thing is that honestly, Kingpin probably knows because Foggy is gone and
Yeah.
and there's Karen, but like Kingpin's kind of the second one that kind of knows all the intimate details of Matt
Yeah.
besides Karen, right? Which
Yeah.
you think about it, it's a little weird and creepy, but it's
Yeah.
true, I think. You know.
Yeah. And I guess vice versa too. Matt knows a lot about Fisk and
Hmm.
his and I mean Karen does too because she did all that deep dive journalism in the Daredevil
Oh
original
yeah, that's right.
series about his mom and stuff. So
Hmm.
I guess it kind of goes both ways for them.
Yeah.
Um
It's almost like one can't exist without the other, right?
yeah.
So, um, like they both want what's best for New York, but then the fact that it's this very toxic relationship with the two of them,
Yeah.
connection with the two of them, that's why Hell's Kitchen in New York is in such turmoil, right?
Yeah, for sure.
um,
Um I also want to talk about the scene where Karen is holding a gun to Bullseye
oh,
when he
so
brings
good.
him this little yeah,
Yes, yeah.
so
Let's
good
talk.
and so interesting because as a Daredevil fan, you understand why it's bad to kill Bullseye, or not even just a Daredevil fan, like you understand like it's bad to kill Bullseye, but you also just can't help but understand Karen's point of view, right?
Hmm.
Bullseye has not only just been like torturing her and nearly like there's one point where obviously this isn't really a spoiler because Matt is here. There's a point where we think that Bullseye has killed Matt in season 3 of
Okay. Yeah.
Daredevil. Um and Karen was there to see that whole thing. So there's that
Oh,
trauma. Obviously he killed Foggy right in front of her face.
yeah.
And have watched his trial and has just watched him torture people and just be psychotic. And honestly, I feel like she handled herself pretty well for someone who saw all of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the gun, like her pointing the gun at him, I was like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
don't do it, but I understand. And the part where Matt takes his billy club and he like throws it like at the gun just to knock it out of her hand
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
she like screams. I thought that was such an interesting choice because it's not like she's not like screaming because the billy club hit her. She's screaming because she's frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like she just like she was probably already like conflicted and really wanting to do this thing where she just shoots him.
Yeah.
But then like Matt comes in with his like savior complex and she's like, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally. That was some freaking amazing acting from Deborah Ann Wool because
She's incredible. Yeah.
when it's because Karen is a very measured, calm person, and I feel like that especially comes from the whole lawyer side of things, where you
Yeah.
have to be analytical and you have to be calm because you go to trial and can't be hysterical, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think with the whole thing, also with being a woman, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
expected of us. So to see the boiling point, to see basically the pot boil over was amazing to watch because you never see Karen screaming at Matt like that, like ever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She handles pressure extremely well. So the fact that that was the turning point for her, the boiling point, I feel that just Deborah Ann Wool just acted her ass off in that. Like you
Yeah.
could feel that reverberating in your soul because
Yeah.
she said some sort of line along the lines of stop protecting the ones that don't matter, right?
Yeah, like you keep
I,
hurting the people that love you to protect the
right,
people that are hurting you.
right. That there was
Yeah.
the infamous that excuse me, there's the emphasis rather on the actions of Daredevil slash Matt is meant with good intentions as far as saving the city, upholding the morals. that he strictly adheres to, but then at the cost of what?
Yeah.
At the cost of his relationship with Karen, you know, at the cost of Foggy, like there's a lot
Yeah.
of things that you could connect it to, and that I feel that Karen was really feeling like everything was kind of closing in on her because she was seeing all the negative effects of this.
Yeah.
It was the idea of we're not winning. Like every single time
Yeah.
that we get a step ahead, then it's 10 steps back. And then you put me 10 steps even further back. You're going to let this guy live? Like, are you out of your mind? He killed our
Yeah.
best friend? So it's just,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because somebody brought up that they think there's a bit of a Frank Castle kind of influence there because
Yeah.
Karen had that connection with Frank. And I can agree with that to a certain extent, but I think that's just being human, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of people, if they were thrown into this situation, they would probably fall somewhere between Frank and Matt.
Yes, I
You know,
agree.
like, I don't think that most people would be like, "Well, let's just kill all the people that are causing
Mhm.
problems." But I think that if it's just when you have someone like Fisk or like Bullseye who's just causing pain and havoc again and again and again and again, and they're killing people and they're, like, doing all of this stuff, I think some people are like, "Yeah, we gotta get rid of this guy." And, like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would if they were put in that situation. So I
Yeah.
think that Karen probably I think you're right. I think Karen just sort of represents what a lot of people would
Yeah,
think.
totally. I if I wrote a fanfic and self-inserted myself in that situation, I'd be like, he's kind of dangerous. Let's think about this logically, guys. Do we really want him
Yeah.
running around? I mean,
Especially since
you know.
Fisk has, like, been to jail so many times too, just in the
Oh, right.
Daredevil
Then you
series
see the
alone.
system. Yeah, the system
Yeah,
is
so
flawed,
she's
right?
probably like, "What is that gonna do? Like,
Right,
what is that
right.
gonna do?"
So then that would be the counter from Karen. Karen would be like, "That's right, Jen's right. They're gonna get
Yeah.
let loose." And then I go, "Okay, like logic wins, right?"
Yeah.
And then Matt would be like, "Jen, you're talking about somebody's life on the line." I'm like, "Yeah, but he's kind of insane." So like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Yeah.
we gotta figure out something there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's interesting that like the way that you put it, that yeah, Karen is essentially us. Karen,
Yeah.
we're like they're like, well, maybe not the best thing. You shouldn't automatically be like, well, that guy just needs to go. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, well, if I was in her position and I was in that emotional position, yeah, I would be pretty pissed off and I wouldn't want that guy to be on the planet anymore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that's probably pretty standard with a lot of people, like, how they would
Yeah,
think in
right.
that situation. Um, yeah.
Can we
Should
talk
we
about Daniel Blake?
Oh my god.
Can we talk about him? My sweet, sweet boy.
My sweet, sweet boy. It's so funny because I think, like, the last time we did a podcast, we were like, "I love Daniel," and we just
Yeah.
talked about how much we loved Daniel.
Love Daniel, love the swordsman. At least the swordsman lived. You
Yeah, and
know?
oh god, sweet, sweet Daniel. That that was so interesting because on the Daredevil podcast, he talks about, like he's loyal to whoever he's kind of trying to impress at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's really smart, and so like leading up to that, he's really at this crux of like trying to impress two different people at once.
Mm, yeah.
And there's the whole part where it's like, "Oh, like, your dad would be so proud of you," and, like, when BB's, like, looking at all the stuff in his room and decides,
Yeah.
like, not to leak the
Yeah.
information that
Hmm.
like, the fake information that he
Yeah.
planted. Um, yeah, I don't know, it was just kind of this cool decision where he decides to, you know, I guess, pay the price and just to do something right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and do so, oh god, that it was so hard, though, and there was a second where I thought that Buck wasn't gonna do it,
That
and
was the
then
very interesting part, right?
yeah.
Because Buck is very cold and calculating, right? And there's
Yeah.
all, and I think it's just also like how, I mean, even when they did the flashback episode, and then they showed him with is it Wesley? Wes?
Yeah.
Wes?
Wesley.
Wesley? Wesley? Okay,
Wesley.
I got that right. I want to make sure I got the name right. You would know because you're the expert.
Mm.
So you could tell from that, as well as all the background information that Daniel was getting from Wes, that he's pretty much like, hey man, I'm a gun for hire. You know,
Yeah.
you need to be loyal to something. So I'm loyal to
Yeah.
Fisk. You know, so the fact that he hesitated, I go, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That might come up later because that's a
Yeah.
crack in the armor as far as I'm concerned. Even though Daniel's not around anymore, that's a crack in the armor, and that could
Yeah.
perhaps that could lead to something very interesting in season 3. If it doesn't, that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the possibility is very much there, and that's what's so intriguing with that character. Because before I'm like, okay, this guy, like, okay, we'll go on a little side quest here. The thing when he told Heather to choke him, because like,
Yeah.
you know, those
I
people
was
are
like,
gonna get
oh.
they're gonna get freaky with each other if they haven't already, and like they're
Yeah.
probably getting freaky with each other with her wearing the Muse mask. Like I have
Yeah.
no doubt of that. Like they're freaky with each other, and you know what? Freaky people need to be with freaky people. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge that.
Listen,
I
whatever
said
you if you're gonna do something if you're two consenting adults,
that's
like
right. That's right. Go
cool.
for it. Go
But
for it.
like,
All right.
yeah.
So it's you know, the whole thing with Daniel Blake is so interesting because the way he is framed in the first season, and you're like, this guy, yeah, this
Yeah.
annoying kid, and this and that. And then once we get to second season, it really starts to take shape. And it's not just because second season they said, we're going to write this better. No, they managed to integrate all the stuff from season 1. And this
Yeah.
character actually grew from season 1 to season 2. It wasn't just a really quick hop to like, oh, now we like Daniel Blake because they just wrote him better in season 2.
Yeah.
No, there was an evolution there, right? Because
Yeah.
Daniel Blake was like, hey, I believe in this guy. I believe in Fisk, and he's going to make the city better, right? And then it starts to get a little bit because he starts looking
Yeah.
into Wes, which is at first very innocuous, and then he starts to realize, well, maybe that wasn't a good idea that I looked into that guy. And then when they're
Yeah.
driving out to Albany, that's when he's like, I swear to you, I didn't leak the information and this and that.
Yeah.
So basically, like, basically, Buck is what is it, Buck? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting the names mixed up. So basically, Buck is like, he's like, he's fishing around for all the insecurities and paranoia that Daniel has, right?
Yeah.
Without even saying a word, and not a direct, excuse me, he does say words, but he does not directly ask him, like, hey,
Yeah.
you talking to your little friend? Is that how that happened? No.
Yeah.
He just goes, yeah, we're going to Albany. And Daniel's like, you know, like
Yeah.
what's out in Albany, right? And then
Yeah.
I kind of laughed, even though it's super morbid, when he opens the trunk and he says shovel or saw.
Yeah.
And I go,
Oh,
oh, I take the shovel, man.
yeah. And it's interesting. There's a part in one of the earlier episodes, whichever one where they're having that dinner with the governor,
Uh,
um, and I was reminded this guy saw like a clip of it, and Heather, I guess like because Buck is like talking about all the different people in the room,
yeah,
and they start talking about Daniel, and Heather goes, "Oh, you're fond of him, aren't you? Like, are you growing like he's
yeah,
growing on you, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah,"
yeah,
basically. So
yeah.
I think him and Daniel, despite their differing, like, beliefs and stuff, I think they did really like each other, like, I think
Oh,
they
totally. No, that was a
had a
true
connection,
friendship. Yeah,
and
I feel like that was a true friendship between the two of them.
I think
Um,
that's why Buck hesitated so much,
mhm.
and he acted that very well too,
Yeah,
but
he did. He did. It's I totally agree with that. That they made a genuine connection, and I think that Buck was thinking in his head, "Cool, I've got another comrade in arms here, because
mhm,
we're on the same page." And he says, and I
Yeah.
like the kid, you know? So when it goes sideways, I think Buck is even more upset because he had built that friendship with Daniel. I think
Yeah.
if he hadn't, I don't think he would have wailed away at Daniel like he would have. Like, yes, he would have still
Yeah.
tortured him to get the information. Oh man, like that was some
Yeah.
superb acting from Michael Gandolfini. Because that
Yeah.
behind the sofa when he's making all those sounds, I mean, it's painful to listen to. Like
Yeah.
I rewatched the episodes just to get a refresher, and I'm like, this is really hard to listen to
Yeah.
because you can just feel every punch, and it's not like just a simple beating. Like that guy
Yeah.
knows, Buck knows where to hit you where it hurts,
Yeah.
especially
He's
where it
like
hurts.
crazy dude in the military.
Yeah, totally. And I think with Daniel, it's just again, Michael Gandolfini is incredible actor. I mean, yes, the whole thing of Nepo baby, but I mean, he's got it. Like
Yeah.
he's got the talent. Like you're
Yeah.
running the family, right?
I
There's
I
there's
hope he
one.
starts doing cons. I hope
Yeah,
he
I
starts
hope
doing
so
cons. I
too.
wanna
I
meet
would
him
love
so
to talk
bad.
to him. Yeah, I would love to
Yeah.
talk to him. There's one scene in the hospital when he's waiting to hear about Vanessa, and he does this walk down the hallway, and it is so eerie because he looks exactly like his dad. Like
Yeah.
that silhouette and everything and that walk, I said, "Oh my god, that he's his dad." Like
Yeah.
I was very taken aback. I never watched The Sopranos and stuff like that, but I mean, obviously I knew who James Gandolfini was cuz
Yeah.
incredible actor, right?
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I really liked how the Daniel Blake arc was handled because they really built it up and you really sympathize with this guy and
Yeah.
and you didn't look at him like the jester as Heather had originally labeled him,
Yeah.
right? The court
Yeah.
jester. Like he was fiercely loyal, and
Yeah.
then and then he was getting the nice apartment and everything, things are kind of looking up, but then of course there's that conflict with his feelings for BB that I mean, I'm like 100% sure that he knew that it was her,
Oh,
but
for absolutely he did. Yeah.
right? They made it sound like he was an idiot at one point. I said, "No, I think he knows, but he doesn't want it to
Yeah,
be
he doesn't
true."
wanna fully believe it either.
Right. Because
Yeah.
he wanted to start a relationship with her. Like he genuinely liked her.
Yeah.
And that's why, when she goes in for that kiss and he's just like, "No, I'm not doing this." I said, "Yeah, for real, dude."
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing like with BB, the way she played it, like there were some moments that I was very frustrated with her because I'm like, "Girl, you are not doing a good job covering your tracks, man." Like
Yeah.
like okay, sleeping with the enemy or whatever, like figuratively, but like Jesus Christ, dude, you are not
Yeah.
doing a good job on this because when she goes in for that kiss, I said, "No, you're not doing that." Like you're not doing that
Yeah.
to my sweet boy, which is like not at all how I thought I was gonna feel about
Yeah.
Daniel in the second season. I said, "No,
Yeah.
no, you're taking advantage of him, right?" Even though he's on like kind of on Kingpin's side, right? He's very much
Yeah.
he's very much in the gray zone, right? He's like, maybe this is not a good idea. But then at the same time, I think maybe I think his mom made some sort of point about him having friends. I could be misremembering that,
Yeah. Maybe.
but
I
I
can't
feel
remember.
like I feel like that's kind of inherent in all of us that we want to have a sense of belonging. So
Yeah.
he feels like oh no, I'm in this group now, I'm in like this elite group with the mayor and Buck and everybody else in the mayor's office. So you know sometimes the need to feel like you belong somewhere will
Yeah.
override your
Yeah.
morality, you know
Totally.
um
Totally. Which and I feel like part of it is also like a little bit, not to the extent that it was with Dex. So I guess yeah, so this was another thing that happened in Daredevil season 3 where so it with Dex Fisk does this thing with him where he acts as just like almost a fatherly figure to him, like a supportive character
Mm.
to him, and that's how he draws Dex in. Vanessa does the same thing with him in Born Again season 1,
Oh,
where she's like, when they're like in the psychiatric ward or whatever
yeah,
that
yeah,
was, and they're
yeah.
talking, the same thing because that's like the
Uh,
soft spot for him. Like he just wants to be seen and loved, as all people do. But
right.
like that's just a kind of a soft thing for him, I think. Like he just needs like a person or someone to just kind of hang on to,
Yeah.
and for that to be his person. And you can see the development of that in season 3. But um it just kind of seems like, again, Fisk is almost serving as this almost fatherly, like paternal figure to Daniel. He
Yes.
gives Daniel a chance when, even though he's like pretty young, there's a couple of times where Fisk could have made Daniel disappear, and he
Hmm.
doesn't. Um, and so I think there's probably a little bit of that in there for Daniel too. What I thought was interesting is I think it's at the beginning of 8 when Buck comes back and Fisk is like, "Oh, like, do we have BB or whatever?" And he was like, "Nope, we don't." Or like Daniel didn't
Yeah.
deliver, basically saying, "I killed him. Like Daniel's dead."
Hmm.
And Fisk almost has a little bit of reaction, but not much. And I thought that was interesting. And I don't know in what way yet, but I think
Yeah.
because I think that he was kind of fond of Daniel in a way, but and
Hmm.
maybe he's just losing so much at this point that he's just like, because Fisk in episode 8 is losing everything. He's lost Vanessa, he's lost, kind of like his power in office, with the courtroom scene and stuff in 8, like he lost the court case. He
Hmm.
loses the respect of all the people, like at the
Hmm.
end and when he's like screaming at everyone. And I don't know if he's just lost so much that Daniel's death was just this thing that he couldn't process yet, or if he saw Daniel as more of a pawn in his things. I don't think it's the latter, but
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's interesting because, right, originally Daniel wasn't supposed to die. Like
Yeah,
he was
I
supposed to
did
just
know that.
he was supposed to just scurry away, right? Which,
Yeah.
I think they made the right decision to kill that character because,
Yeah, it unfortunately does make sense even though it makes me sad.
yeah, incredibly, like it
Yeah,
makes me incredibly sad too because when, you know when I heard that that was not the original plan, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm
yeah,
so glad that they went with this arc instead," because it
yeah,
is a clear end to the arc, right? I mean,
yeah,
literally, like that's the end of his story.
yeah,
But you have to look at it that the thing that there's a couple of things that really affected me from Daniel's arc, and it's so tragic because you get to see the other side of him as far as like his family life, right? When you meet
yeah,
his mom, and when his mom is saying, "Oh yeah, he's doing good things, like he's making changes with
yeah,
the city, right?" And
yeah,
she says, "Your dad would be so proud of you," and that just really
yeah,
got me because I go, Michael Gandolfini, like, he lost his
yeah,
dad at a super young age. I think he might have been
yeah,
like 14 or 16 when his dad passed away. And when I looked
yeah.
into it, apparently he was the one that found his dad when his dad had the heart attack.
God.
Extremely tragic. I cannot,
Yeah,
like, I feel for that guy. Like, that's just,
yeah,
I said, oh my God, he's the one that made sure he got to the hospital. Um, and, that really hit me. And I said, oh man, there's like kind of that double entendre kind of thing,
yeah,
and then when he decided, it's so funny because he's like F with like BB, right? Because BB's screaming because
yeah,
obviously she don't want to die, and that actress is a really good actress because I could feel that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be super chill about that. I'd be screaming too because I'd be like,
yeah,
You can't drag me in there. You're gonna freaking kill me. You're gonna torture me and kill me."
yeah,
Um, but I loved it when he was just like F, and he's like fine, and he says, "Don't tell me where you're going. Here's my phone. Make it count." And I was like,
yeah,
"Wow, dude, that was to me that was powerful because
yeah,
and the crazy thing is the way that it was written. Right, he wasn't supposed to die in that scene, but as soon as he said that, I go, he knows, he's not making it out of
yeah,
there. He absolutely
Yeah.
knows he's not making it out of there. That's why he said, make it count. Because he's like, hey, I could just
Yeah.
hand you over and I could live on with my life, provide for my mom.
Yeah.
But you know what? Fine. This is not right. And I got to do something. So,
Yeah.
again, it's, I mean, it just goes to show you that the gal that plays BB is a really good actress. And I was so frustrated with her. I'm
Yeah.
like, girl, you can't be doing this crap and not covering your tracks. I'm like, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I said, don't do that. But anyway, and then
Yeah.
with with Daniel, it's interesting because the whole like when you rewatch that and you find out that the original plan was that he was not going to be killed at the end of that episode. It's very interesting because
Yeah.
like he's looking up at Buck and he's telling him, how long is it going to be until you're on the ground with the gun pointed at you, right? And
Yeah.
that makes me think that with the original writing, Buck was going to have like a moment, like an epiphany, right? But the thing
Yeah.
is that that would actually be out of character because Buck doesn't have epiphanies. He's not going to be all of a sudden like, I'm this
Yeah.
like good person that's going to do something, like
Yeah.
he's like, hey, my loyalty is to Fisk, and that is it.
Yeah.
I have to do what he wants because that is my job. It is as simple as that.
Yeah.
And if I fail him
Yeah.
on certain respects, it better not be because I had a weak spot for somebody. So I think that's why he kills
Yeah.
Daniel. You know that
Yeah. I
the
do too.
loyalty to Fisk overrides everything. But again, that was very
Yeah.
interesting that Buck hesitated because that I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
surprised me, and I said, oh, that friendship, that connection was genuine. And I'm like, are we
Yeah.
gonna see something season 3? Maybe. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Who
Oh,
knows?
my sweet
Oh,
baby boy.
my sweet baby boy,
Yeah. Um.
who's only
that-
like he's like 2 years younger than I am. Like,
oh,
but
really?
like my
Oh,
sweet
okay.
baby boy who is
Man,
basically
he
the same age
young.
as me.
He young because you already young, so he
Yeah.
young, and then he younger. You all younger. You all younger than me.
Yeah.
um. Uh.
Episode 8.
Let's talk a little. You know what? Let's talk just a little bit about Jessica Jones because we
Oh yeah.
we
Yeah.
we kept being like, our girls come in this episode. Our girls come in this episode.
Yeah.
She didn't show up till
Where's my
late,
drunk
dude.
lady?
Yeah,
Where is my drunk lady?
she didn't show up till way late in the season, which I thought
Yeah.
was actually smart. That was a very strategic move, and I like that because
Yeah.
I thought the introduction of her back was hilarious because you don't even see her yet. You just see her feet, but then she gets up as
Yeah.
soon as she hears those guys outside her house, and then her daughter has the
Yeah.
bomb, and it's like wee, like it's like an airplane,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "This is not a
It's
toy."
it's so funny too because in the comics, Jessica and Luke get married and they have a kid, and
Mm,
that's like a kind of a common thing that happens. Um, so when this little girl shows up, who is clearly mixed race,
mhm,
and Jessica is like with her or whatever, and they don't like confirm who the dad is, but they're calling her Danielle, which is the name of Luke and Jessica's daughter in the
uh-huh.
comics. And everyone was like, that better be Luke Cage's daughter. Everyone wanted that. I was like, there's no way that's not gonna be his daughter, right? And thankfully it was, because I would have been mad if it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah. As soon as I saw the daughter, I'm like, oh, that's totally Luke Cage's daughter. Like they totally had a kid together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they would be the only two physically able people to have a kid with one another. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah. I just
right?
remembered the sex scenes from Jessica Jones
Mhm.
between the two of them.
Yeah, they freaking
Where they're
destroy the
like
bed,
breaking furniture.
right? Yeah, they freaking destroy
Yeah.
the furniture, right? Because they're both so strong, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I was very excited to see Luke Cage at the end. I thought they weren't going to do that reveal till season
Me
3.
too.
Um,
Me too. And then he came in the yeah, that was really cool just
that
to
was
see
a
him
that
in
was a
his
great reveal, and I'm like, yes,
yeah.
my boy's back. My boy's back. So
Yes. Did you see Luke Cage season 2?
I don't think I did. I think I only saw the first season. I have a lot of catching up
That's
to do.
that is so fair though, because season 2 you're kind of like there's so much happening and nothing happening at all. So like
The one that I did not like at all, that I was so mad at my friend for making me watch it, was Iron Fist. I watched the first season,
yeah, I
hated
still
it.
haven't watched it and I kind of refuse to.
Good for you. My friend at work says, he says, "Did you watch Iron Fist?" I'm like, "No, I heard that one's bad." And he goes, "Well, you gotta watch it because Defenders." So, all right, fine. Watched it, then watched Defenders, and I got mad at my friend. I said, I didn't need to watch Iron Fist to understand Defenders with him in it. Like,
Yeah.
I hate that show. I really do.
I watched I watched Defenders and that was my first introduction to Iron Fist. And I watched so little of the Defenders before I was like that SpongeBob meme with the "Oh brother, this guy stinks." I did not like him at all. And then that Defender scene where Matt like punches him in the face, I was like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah, I like the
But
dynamic.
anyway,
I like the dynamic between him and Luke Cage. That's what made him likable.
yeah,
But him by himself,
yeah,
not
and
so much.
that's that's a big like comic thing too. Because in the
Mhm.
comics, Luke Cage and Iron Fist they team up and they do like Heroes for Hire, which is like
Oh, okay.
basically what it sounds like hire us for your needs. And sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, what are these two idiots doing? And it's
Yeah, they're like the
and
Ghostbusters.
it's fun. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that could be a fun show or something, maybe potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what else about Jessica? I was gonna say something else about Jessica.
It's
Kristen
just
Ritter looks exactly the same.
yes.
Like
Yes.
they could
She
have filmed that back in 2015 and I would have been
yep.
like, yeah.
Yep. I there's two things with her. No, actually three things with her. That's probably why she looks that good. She uses moisturizer, sunscreen, and she
Mhm.
stays in her lane. She
Yeah,
minds her own business. That's why she looks so young.
surely does, yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also,
and
my my roommate had a theory about why Jessica's powers aren't as prominent, which I thought was really interesting, and I think it's, like,
yeah.
my favorite theory of it so far. Because, like, you assume that her I don't know, her powers aren't as prominent maybe because she had a kid and it passed down to her or something, and,
Mm.
like which is a possibility, but, my roommate said that she thinks that it's because Jessica's becoming more emotionally balanced, like she's
Oh,
healing,
yeah.
and I
That's
think
a
that's
very
such
good
an
theory.
interesting
That's
theory.
a very good
Yeah,
theory. Yeah, because she was
like,
always drinking
I
alcohol
really
all the time to numb herself, right? Because of
yeah,
all that trauma, right? Yeah.
yeah, and I do really like that
Yeah.
idea, like, I know that, her being angry is kind of a big part of who she is, but she can still be angry and emotionally healed, like she can still have the
Yeah.
personality of like this is stupid
Yeah, yeah,
and
totally.
be emotionally mature. So
Totally.
because I remember I watched the Defenders before I watched Jessica Jones or Luke Cage. And I remember watching it and I didn't like Jessica Jones because I was like, this she's just kind of an a-hole to everyone and like what's her
Uh,
deal? Like why is she so and then I watched Jessica Jones and I was like, oh, I get it. Okay. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I like you now. Like because I understand like what's
Yeah.
happening now and why
I'm trying
you're
to
being this
remember.
way.
I'm pretty sure it's like I watched for sure, for sure I watched Daredevil first. And then
Mhm.
I think it was Jessica Jones was the second one that came out. And then
Yeah.
I think I pretty much watched it in sequential order as it came out. So as far and then
Yeah.
like Luke Cage, like love Jessica Jones. Well, it's funny because everybody said Daredevil's dark. I'm like, yeah, this is dark. And then I watched Jessica Jones and I said, oh, Daredevil's a walk in the park in comparison to
Yeah.
Jessica
Jessica Jones
Jones.
is hard to watch and should come with a trigger warning, honestly, because
Yeah,
that is
totally.
it's
Totally.
hard. Yeah.
And then Luke Cage, I go, cool. This is a little bit more lighthearted, even though this is like,
Yeah.
underbelly and bad with Cottonmouth and everything else with Mahershala Ali, who's amazing. Um, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, yeah, that Jessica Jones one, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, oh, this
Yeah.
is the Dark series. Okay. Um,
Yeah. Jessica Jones season 1 is great, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again because
yeah,
it was
yeah,
just a lot.
exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
another one that I didn't watch the second season. It's funny. I really fell off of these when like the first seasons I watched them, and then I think it's just
Yeah.
because of how the Netflix like the
Yeah.
Netflix like system is that they just drop all the episodes and then binge. Whereas I do a lot better
Yeah.
when it's week to week. So I actually end up watching things because I said, oh, like it's a digestible hour episode like per week, right? Whereas if
Yeah.
it's like they just drop them all, I'm like, how many hours of this is off my life,
Yeah.
So
I
it's a
get
lot more
that. Yeah.
digestible. It's a lot more digestible for me when it's week to week. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter looks the same. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's like she never left that character. Like she did an amazing job. And I
My
just love.
phone's running out of juice. I
Oh
gotta
no,
I gotta
already.
get some juice
Well,
for my phone.
we're almost at an hour, so that's probably why. Let us let us
No, that's
let
all
us
good.
plug in the phones. Plug in the phone.
Yeah.
I've got 70%, so I'm still good. I actually charged my phone before we started because I was like, this one's gonna be a long episode. um.
I might have to. Oh no,
Okay.
I can't do that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We're
There we go.
good. I have to
Okay.
balance it weird, but it's
Okay.
okay.
Cool.
There we
That's
go.
um. So yeah,
There we
I
go.
I love it. I loved it in the last episode when she found the alcohol in the desk drawer in the courthouse.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, finally."
Yeah, that was so great. And like she just started swinging at it, and I said, "Yeah, that's my girl."
Yeah,
um,
there she is.
and then I
Um,
also loved it. I also
also,
loved her interaction with Matthew Lillard's character with Mr. Charles. I thought that was freaking funny.
yeah,
And
yeah,
apparently
it's so good.
originally he was supposed to be in a bathtub instead, which would I think would have been funnier because he would have even felt more vulnerable. But she was just like,
Yeah,
"Hey, what are you doing harassing my family?" And you can tell he's genuinely
wake up.
afraid of her. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
genuinely afraid of her, right? So it's funny. He's
which is
like,
funny
could
because he's
care
been
less
like,
about. Yeah, he could care less about
he's
Fisk,
also
right?
been like working with Luke Cage. So
Yeah. But
yeah, so
he's like,
I guess he knows stories too.
he's
But
like, I don't have to be afraid of Luke Cage. I have to be afraid of Jessica.
yeah, and he's afraid of her knowing that her powers are being weird right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah,
Which is also funny. Like, she doesn't
yeah,
need powers to hurt him.
yeah. He gets in the little jab, but even then, he's like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe that
Mm,
was a bad idea.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
no, yeah, we
Um,
can go to episode 8 now. I think because we covered
yeah,
Miss Jessica Jones or Mrs. Jessica Jones.
yes. Um, I thought episode 8 was great. I loved the parallel fight scene between
Oh,
Fisk and all
the
of
two
the Daredevil
hallways.
mask people. Yeah, A
Oh,
Tale of Two Hallways,
that's
delicious.
the two hallways. I love that. Yep.
Delicious.
Yep.
I don't know if that was an original thought or if I heard that somewhere, but yeah,
Incredible.
it's
Don't care. That's still a great quote. That's still a great title.
just delicious. It was so good. And it really just shows how powerful Fisk is because I think we forget that Fisk, he's not he's not necessarily super powered, but there's something going on with him because he's just like massive and
Yeah.
ridiculously strong and like
Yeah.
not to be trifled with. Like he's more than just like a powerful guy, like a powerful rich guy. Like
Yeah.
he's
Oh
he
no,
can mess you up.
when he smashes that guy's face in, that first guy,
Yeah.
and the guy goes tumbling into
Yeah.
that bench and his head and neck are not in the
Yeah.
proper place, I was like, oh no. And
Yeah.
then they all start freaking out, and I'm like, you know, maybe you should have left the door open on the other side to get out of there, guys.
Yeah, dude.
um,
Just so crazy. The courtroom scene was also great. It was so good. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time
yeah,
watching that
yeah.
unfold. And I had a suspicion that Matt was going to reveal himself to be Daredevil, but it was
Mm,
still surprising when it happened because when I think it was episode 7 when Karen's in jail and he goes to see her and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like you can't do that," basically, but they're not saying, like, what that is.
mm,
I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna tell everyone that he's Daredevil." And kind
uh-huh,
of a cool Easter egg in that is in that episode where Matt tells everyone in the courtroom that he's Daredevil, he's wearing, like, it's like this burgundy colored suit,
uh-huh.
and his whole suit is, like, this red color, which I love because there is a comic book, run where he comes out and tells everyone that he's Daredevil, and while he's practicing law still, he wears, like, this all red suit to go to court. Like,
Oh,
yeah, like, so it was kind of like an homage to that, and I
yeah,
really liked that because I love the all red suit.
yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that they kind of included that little comic Easter
Hmm.
egg. So
Yeah.
he's in the court with that all red suit, and I was like, "Oh, everybody's gonna know." uh, which yeah, so I thought that was really cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just thought the acting was phenomenal. I loved also Powell getting punched in the face by Cole North. That was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I mean,
that
that
was
guy.
fantastic. I was like, "Oh, finally."
I know that was the guy that never got spanked as a child. I was like, oh God, just and then when he finally hit him in the face, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and just a testament to that guy being a fantastic actor because he pissed me off so much.
yeah,
I was like, "Oh,
totally,
brother, get this man off my screen."
yeah, totally, totally, yeah.
But he
No,
got
you.
punched in the face and I was like, "Hell yeah."
Mm-hmm. Um.
And also another punch hell yeah. I have not agreed with Heather Glenn once, but when she punched that lawyer guy for
Oh,
like
that dude
touching
in
her
the
or whatever, I was
throat
like,
and the
"No, yeah."
jugular. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I was like, "No,
like,
I'll allow it."
like, okay. I had a moment when he was like, "Oh, let's get out of here," and he touches her hair in her face, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
uh,
now? Like, when people are in danger and, like,
yeah,
running
and I'm
around and people
like,
are dying? What?
I was like, "Excuse you, like what? What is that?" So it's hilarious. So I
Yeah.
watched the Real Rejects that do reaction videos, and it was so funny
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
she punched him in the jugular. One of the guys, I think his name's Aaron, he goes, "Yes, yes, good. That's what you should do." And I was dying. I couldn't
No,
stop
I did
laughing.
too. I watched that and I said, "No, that's fair."
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
because
the correct thing to
as
do.
soon as she did that, I go, "Yeah, that guy totally deserved it. He's been super skeezy towards you throughout the entire show." Like, I'm like, read the room, dude.
Yeah,
And like, I'm like, and I mean, on a totally superficial level, but I'm like, she's way too pretty for you, dude. Like, gross. Like,
yeah,
you think you can score that? Like the nerve of some men. Like
yeah,
seriously, like the nerve
yeah.
of these men. And I was like, no, absolutely not. She is way too pretty for
So,
you.
Margarita, the actress, she dated Sebastian Stan for, like, 2 years also, so I'm like, you think that this woman
Well,
who
there's
dated
hope.
Sebastian Stan
There's hope because she's a brunette. Like I know Sebastian Stan, he's got a type. He tends to date blondes.
It's the one brunette that he's dated, everyone else has been a blonde before and after,
So you're
which is
saying there's a
crazy.
chance. So you're telling me that there's a
I think he
chance.
I think he unfortunately for, everyone does have a girlfriend right now, I'm pretty sure,
That's okay. Like,
who is
that's
blonde,
different than
but
marriage, dude. That's not permanent yet. And like that's okay. And I want that sweet man to be with someone and be happy. He's very sweet. So it's okay.
yeah,
But,
he is very sweet.
but wow, she
He
dated
is very
Sebastian
sweet.
Stan for a bit? Man,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
Yeah. For, like, a while too, I think. Like, I think they, like, had a dog they were both taking care of and, like, that kinda thing, but
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Props to her. Man,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
Not that that's
But
the only thing
anyway.
that defines this woman, but like, man, good job.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. She's a great actress and everything in
She
between.
is.
But
She is.
yeah.
Because man, no, I mean that like so that was another thing. It's funny that people really looked at Heather. They've been just kind of mean in general towards Heather, like since the first season,
Yeah.
and they look at her as kind of a throwaway character. And it's kind of funny because there's some people that are like, "Oh, what? All of a sudden she would turn because of all this trauma?" And I'm like, "That's not all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's trauma.
Yeah,
That is not
that's
being
something that
that is
happens.
that's not being treated. That is especially not being
Yeah.
treated, and it's even worse. It's like it's even worse because she's a freaking psychiatrist. So she's probably trying
Yeah.
to like logic herself out of that. Like, yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like that's what people go through instead of going and getting professional help because she's like, why would I have to do that?
Yeah.
I'm a psychiatrist, right? So I think the arc of that character it made sense, like she
Yeah.
was just
I agree.
freaking evil, man. Like when she was like talking to
And she
Karen,
did a
I'm like,
great job.
oh my god,
Yeah.
like
And she did a
she did an
great job.
incredible job. Yeah, she did such a good job because like uh, all the uneasiness and that she's still seeing Muse in the background or can see her like and see him in her
Getting
peripheral
hot.
vision. Oh, all good. Woo
Yeah.
woo. Woo woo.
Yeah, my t-shirt underneath.
Yeah.
My
um,
unisex oversized t-shirt
yeah,
from the gym.
yeah. Um, but like, dude, that whole confrontation she had with Karen, I was like, damn, this woman's evil, man. This woman's so
Yeah.
evil. Cause not only was she, she was jealous ex-girlfriend, but god damn, because she's
Yeah.
a psychiatrist and everything, she's like, oh, is that where the button is? I'm like, damn girl. Damn.
God damn. I loved how she was talking about whatever, like, hiding behind the mask of Daredevil, and
Mm.
Matt goes, like, "How you're hiding behind the Fisk administration?" I was like, "Yes!"
And, and like,
Yes.
you know, I do love Matt, and like Heather should not be acting inappropriately about these things. But I'm sitting there being like, okay, Matt, like that's kind of messed up what you did to your ex girlfriend. Like, granted, this is not
Yeah.
all your fault, but I feel like we could have had a proper conversation about this and a proper breakup. But instead, you're
Oh,
like,
Matt is bad at
he
relationships.
is so bad. I mean, clearly he is because he dated Electra. I mean, there you go, right? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, and he's like, "Meh, meh, meh,
He
meh, meh," with Heather, and I go, look, that's warranted, and I agree with you. But god damn it, Matt, like we're kind of in this mess, also because you screwed her over.
he's also affectionately known as Matthew Hordock, which is
Yeah,
true
that
because
doesn't surprise me in the very least.
he has slept with every eligible woman that he has been able to in the comics, in the
Uh,
show. Matthew
yeah.
Hordock.
I don't know if I ever told you I was like I was gonna write like a Daredevil fan fiction because like I don't know I felt
Yeah.
like I wrote these Marvel fan fictions to sort out like how I deal with relationships with men, and it was gonna be
Uh-huh.
funny that I go, okay, I really need to stop dating the superpowered super like heroes. And then and then Matt finds me and I go, great, he's a blind lawyer. Farthest thing from a superhero, and then something happens,
Oops.
and we get attacked or whatever, and he beats the crap out of these guys, and I'm like, God damn it, you're a superhero, aren't you? He goes, how do you know I'm Daredevil? I'm like, God damn it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, God damn it, I have a type, and I was like, all right, this is not gonna work. So
Oh, Matt.
but anyway, yeah, that was like I looked at Matt and I was like, like I love Matt, but I'm like,
Yeah.
could have handled that thing with Heather
Yeah.
a little bit better, man. Just a little bit, just a little bit. And then, when Karen's like,
Yeah.
oh, so that's what gets a rise out of you. I'm like, go Karen, go. Cause like
Go,
that's just
Karen,
mean.
go.
I don't like people being mean to other people and like even
Yeah.
like and it's funny because when damn it, what's the lawyer's name? The one that's friends with Heather.
Oh,
Kirsten. Kirsten?
yeah.
Kirsten.
Yeah.
Kirsten. When when Kirsten's like, "Hey, did you strike? Did you strike Karen Page in jail?" It's like, no, and I'm all like, I'm like, yeah, I said, I guess that's just how the system works. If you come in with a bruised up face, nobody cares. They're like, whatever, you were in jail, you probably got beat up by another cellmate or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting there being like, that woman had no interaction with anybody else except for the psychiatrist. And then I guess like the psychiatrist could be like, Heather could be like, no, she's psychotic. She like slammed her head into the table or whatever. So I'm like, like I got very aggravated
Yeah.
by that. And she's like, no, I would never. And I'm like, uh-huh, sure, Heather.
Yeah.
But yeah, that character has come a long way. Um, and
Yeah, I love Kirsten.
you know, and like even in the first season, I liked Heather. I felt like, you know, Heather
Yeah.
unfortunately gets all twisted up in this, and she's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I have a certain amount of sympathy for that character. But once she chose the
Yeah.
side with Fisk, and then she chose to fully embrace all the corruption of that, I said, no, I don't have sympathy for you, dude,
Yeah.
because you know who you
Yeah.
got in bed with. Like
Yeah,
when pe-
exactly.
when people act certain ways because they're in a friend group or whatever, and then they come out of it and be like, "Oh, I never said something like that." I'm like, "No, you like went with the herd and you were like
Yeah.
acting like them. Like it's pretty messed up." And so there's no excuse for that, right? Um, and
Yeah.
and and you do feel a little sympathetic towards her as far as when she says, "Well, when I switch sides, I don't have a lot of people," and then Buck's like, "I don't have a lot of people too, so we can relate with each other, right?" And I
Oh
said,
my god.
and I looked at those two, and I'm like, those two are gonna get freaky with each other. Like,
Yeah.
they're super gonna get freaky.
Yeah, they are.
Um, but I just that character has really come a long way, and it's so funny because and I think it's partly like a sexist take as well from people that they're like, oh, she's just the girlfriend, and I'm like, did you not watch the first season?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
she you know that was when Matt was trying to be a normal citizen, and he looked at her like, oh, she can kind of be my anchor, right? And then but then
Yeah.
inevitably it's just part of Matt's core, right? Like
Yeah.
he just can't be a normal civilian. Like, even like at the end of the show,
Yeah.
talking at the end of the season, he was telling Karen like, it's really hard to lead a normal life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can imagine that it is,
Yeah, like
right?
waiting for the other shoe to drop and they're like, "Why is
Yeah,
this so hard?" Like,
yeah. And it's
yeah.
it's just um
Drama.
when that's all it's like, I feel like, I mean, it's all about growing up and stuff like that too, right? But when you're in it,
Yeah.
that's all it is. It's like when I was in college, dude, man. I mean, I was up all hours of the night. People would come to me, like all kinds of friends would come to me and be like, "Oh my god, this crazy thing happened," and this and that. So I was entrenched in all this crazy
Yeah.
drama. It was almost like I was like the makeshift therapist, or like, I don't know, the guru that everybody talks to, right? And then
Yeah.
what happened was, after a period of time, I go, "This is not it. I need to find my inner peace." And right now is very nice because people come to me with their problems, but they're like, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but that's because I vetted all my friends." So my friends are all very nice people that will preface it with, "Hey, I'm really sorry to come to you with this." I said, "There's nothing to be sorry about. What do you got?" I just had a friend today just be like, "Hey, can I vent?" I'm like, "Vent away, man." But now it's like I have
Yeah.
my inner peace. It's calm. I just talk with my cat most of the time here in this house. So it's great. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
But, there had to be a turning point, right? But before, it was like drama, 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 drama. And my brother even said to me, he goes, "You really like drama, don't you?" And I said, "I don't think that I do. I just think I really attract it." And I really invite people to talk
Yeah.
to me about it. So that when that's all you're like, Yeah. And then at some point, there's a turning point where you're like,
Yeah.
no, this is not it, dude. Like I have to go find my
Yeah.
inner peace and go sit on top of a mountain somewhere and meditate, like, and be
Or
away.
jail in Matt's case.
And I really liked how they framed that shot when they closed the cell door, and it looked like he was in confessional with like the little window
Ooh.
open,
I don't even think I noticed that, but you're so right.
and
I
then they
love that.
close that, and then it's like, well, he's
And the little
repented.
smile where
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna mess up everybody, and no, I don't know, but like that something's gonna happen.
And then I love that. I love the juxtaposition of that, right? So Matt in darkness, and that's where he thrives, right? Because he's blind, right? It's all the other senses that he
Yeah.
relies on, and then Kingpin in the light that he can't hide from. He's in the sunlight on the sand with the sand between his toes, which he hates, and and that
Yeah.
I feel sad, which is weird because it's Kingpin and he just killed a bunch of people. I feel
Yeah.
sad because I go, that is probably a moment that character is like, I should have just left with Vanessa when she told me that she wanted to come to this island.
Yeah.
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 And I'm
Yeah.
sitting
Instead
being
of
like,
like losing all of that, you could have just
she literally was like,
had it
hey, we
all.
could just go away. We got that island.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't like the sand between my toes. I'm like, oh, another Anakin. And,
Yeah. For
I
sure.
can't even imagine. I mean, I get mad when I go, man, I shouldn't have got, like, if my car gets dented or something happens to my car, and I go, man, I shouldn't have gone out to do that thing. Like, why did I go do that thing, right? I can't even imagine that, like,
Yeah.
somebody's life, right? That you're like, maybe I should have just left to go to that island, and then she would still be alive.
A second.
Oh,
Oh, there
whew,
we go.
okay.
Sorry. There we go. We're back.
No, you're good. I was like, no, I lost her.
We're here.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you can adjust the volume on your side.
Can you not hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Oh, okay.
That's because the volume on my side was low. My bad.
No, you're good.
um, yeah, like I thought just the culmination of that episode was just nuts. Like
Yeah.
I thought I I thought the finale was pretty well played in the sense that it didn't end on some like crazy banger. That it was just
Yeah.
like it was like I mean, I was shocked that they had Matt and Karen in that place with all the lights, the pretty lights. That I'm like,
Yeah.
that's been there. I was like, she has some really cute photos of herself.
Shout out to
That's
Panna 2. That's what the restaurant is called.
so cool,
It's
man.
delicious. Also, by the way,
Oh, I'd have to go check that out, man.
it's really good. It is reasonably priced too. I
Oh,
think
nice.
there was 4 of us that went, and we each got a meal, and there were appetizers and drinks, and they gave us free ice cream at the end. And I think it was just it was like $100 total. I think, or like a little over $100 total.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
for our full thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
For all 4 of you guys, that's a big deal.
and everyone was really nice, and they let us take pictures and hop around the different seats to take pictures, and
Wow.
we love them.
That's cool, man. Where is that exactly?
Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bug my friend and be like, when I go visit, and be like, can we go can we go to the Daredevil restaurant?
Mhm.
Eh,
I would go around lunchtime. That's when I went, and I feel like it was pretty like
it's pretty chill.
not. Yeah, it was chill.
Okay. Cool. Um but yeah, um I was very impressed with the season. Like
Yeah,
I
me
felt
too.
like I didn't feel like that there was like a lot of filler. I felt like a lot of the arcs were really well done. And you know
Yeah.
what's so funny? I know I keep going back to New Rockstars, but like they kept on being like, well, we don't want to talk about the side characters. It's a Daredevil show. We just want to see Daredevil. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and while I understand that argument, I'm like going, well, then why have those characters there? If you're not
Yeah.
going to have any focus on them, because I think that was kind of the main complaint of the first season, right? And there's all these kind of
Yeah.
characters thrown in. It's like the Daniel Blake thing really threw me in for a loop because
Yeah.
when I first saw him, I was like, okay, he's kind of the skeezy like guy or whatever, and I'm just not gonna like this kid. And then
Yeah.
just the way that they like evolved his character,
My beautiful angel boy.
I'm like, my sweet boy. And I was like, oh man, like
Yeah.
it's like the amount of maturity in that acting, and then with that character alone, you know, like when he realized he's like, this is it, I'm done. And he hands his phone to BB and he's just like, make it count.
Yeah.
And instead of running off with her and possibly, with Buck finding the two of them, he's like, no, I gotta let her go and
Yeah.
escape, and I gotta face the consequences of my actions. And I mean, that to me, that's incredible writing. You know,
Yeah.
because it's not like he like says, okay, well now I gotta do this. Like, no, it's just the way, even just his whole demeanor kind of changes, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, this is like, because he went from really pissed off at BB, right? He's like, God
Yeah.
damn it, it's not a game and this and that, to this kind of quiet resolution, like, this is what I gotta do.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just gotta do the right thing. And this is gonna suck because I'm probably gonna die, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I think he did kind of a Hail Mary at the end to try to appeal to Buck because they did have a genuine friendship. But like,
Yeah.
I think just Daniel knew, even though the crazy thing is like, they changed it, right? They changed it post, right? But I think Daniel, the character, just knew. He's like, hey, like, that's my last thing I'm gonna do as a friend is to tell Buck, like, hey, they're gonna turn on you too, dude. Like,
Yeah.
there's like, you being loyal doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything to these people, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of his Hail Mary to at least try to reach to Buck on that. And
Yeah.
I think there's two layers of Buck hesitating, right? Number one, that he's like, I like this kid. And number two, he probably took pause and was like,
Yeah.
this silly kid has a pretty good point. But then he shook it off like, no, no, like, this is
Yeah.
what I gotta do, right?
Yeah.
So, um, because
Yeah.
then
I
it's
Go ahead.
because it was funny because when they did the what happened in the last episode leading into, like, the
Yeah.
the, the recap of episode 7 to 8, and then they showed Daniel saying that line to Buck, and then Buck gets shot in episode 8, and I was like, those aren't related, man. Like, Buck just took the
Yeah.
shot because Bullseye was gonna take out Kingpin, and Buck's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he took the shot, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, please continue. You were going to say
No,
something.
I was just gonna say I did really enjoy the season. Um, I did want a little bit more Matt in there, like more Daredevil in the
Mhm.
season, but I really enjoyed getting to know all the side characters, so I feel like what I would have wanted was for the episodes to be longer.
Yeah,
Like I think that's it.
yeah.
But
Yeah, that's always, that's what's so hard now. And it's not just Disney Plus, it's everybody, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They just don't churn out episodes like traditional TV anymore.
Yeah.
Um and
Well,
like,
yeah.
while I understand it on like an economical level, as a fan, I'm like, no, you have to, if you want to tell a story, like, write as many episodes as you want,
Yeah.
to tell that story, right? I think they did a pretty good job with what they were
What
limited
they had.
to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree for sure.
but I'm
But yeah,
I'm with you on that.
I really enjoyed it. I think it was great. I think it was better than the first season, and I think they did a really good job cleaning it up and kind of leading into possibilities for the future. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited to see it.
This was the Empire Strikes Back of the three.
Yeah.
Though somebody might take issue with me by saying, but that by implying that first season is Star Wars A New Hope, and I was like, that's not really the comparison I'm making, but it's just, just for the
Yeah.
second season that it's Empire Strikes Back, like,
Yeah.
um the juicy cliffhanger, and the embellishment and of these characters, right?
Right.
Um, Yeah, because I mean, this thing with Heather, like, I'm all like, ooh. Like, when she put on the mask at the end and she doesn't see the mask, she sees herself. I go, oh, that's creepy, man. I
Yeah.
was like, that's
Here
so
we
creepy.
go.
I like, here we freaking go, man. She gotta take some self defense classes and go beat the crap out of everybody.
Dude, seriously.
you know, I'm I'm sure she's probably gonna go and take some like self defense classes and get into some martial arts, and she's gonna start like
Yeah.
kicking people's butt, dude. So,
Yeah. I don't know, she
um,
got the guy in the jugular pretty good. Maybe she knows a little bit
oh, she
already.
did, dude. Like, I was like, yeah, that guy totally deserved it. I was with you on that. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, like, because again, when he's just like going, oh, like, let's get out of here, and I was like, okay. Excuse you, don't be touching her face and her hair like that. But like,
First of
where?
all,
Where are
no.
you gonna go?
Yeah.
like
First
where?
of all, no. Second of all, bad timing.
Yeah, it's like, where are you
The
gonna
worst
go?
timing, actually.
Like, yeah, like it's the absolute worst timing. Like, what, you're gonna go hide in the basement and like, kiss each other in the basement? Like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like, not
Yeah.
the time and place for this, you know?
No. Yeah.
What a weirdo.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
and
But yeah.
I really did love it when Fisk was like, he's like, yeah, that guy. And she's just like, oh, well, he's like, I know he's like a skilled, like, whatever, litigator or whatever word she used for that. He goes,
Uh-huh.
yeah, he really makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
That's like, I love that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he gives the heebie-jeebies even to Fisk, and he's just like, oh, lawyers, and I was just like, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally understand that, Fisk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, kitty
I
time.
I hear a PJ. Oh, is he coming down here? Where's he going? Are you coming
Well,
up here, buddy?
I think I do have to get ready for bed here in a little bit, but
I think
yeah.
we can pretty much end this. Seems like the consensus is the same that we
Yeah, we
enjoyed
like
this.
it.
We enjoyed this season. That's season was phenomenal. Can't wait for
Yeah.
season 3. I can't wait to see what they're cooking for season 3.
Me too. I'm intensely interested in what's going to happen.
Yeah. And then it's so funny. Me and my buddy Dan are like Spider-Man's in jail in that trailer. Is he going to
Yeah, that's
break
kind of
out
what
Daredevil?
everyone is doing. But also, I feel like so many people are asking, like in interviews and stuff, Charlie Cox about it, and I'm like, okay, first of all, even if he is in it, he's not going to tell you that because
Yeah,
Marvel
he
will
can't
shoot
confirm
him.
it. Yeah.
Second of all, like second of all, like if he's gonna tell someone, why would it be you? Like,
Right.
leave the man alone.
Right. Like,
Let him promote Daredevil and his other projects, and then we'll
yeah,
all just be happy when Spider-Man comes out if he's in it.
yeah. Because it was so funny because me and my buddy Dan were talking about that, and I'm like, yeah, we're all predicting that Daredevil's going to be in Spider-Man, but it won't be like a huge role. Like, it'll be
Yeah, I don't think
like,
it's gonna be like a huge thing either.
yeah, it's like the Punisher when you're like, I don't think he's going to be in that movie all that much. I'm like, no, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I think if anything, he's like Frank Castle's probably going to be like in like almost like the montage at the beginning of the movie, and then
yeah.
maybe have a moment with Peter, and then
Like
that's
something at
it.
the end will happen where he needs someone else, I think, and then
Yeah,
Gwen
yeah,
Stefani will
yeah,
come back.
yeah,
But yeah, that's how I
yeah,
think it's gonna go too, honestly.
yeah. And then like the Daredevil thing, if he's in it, I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be a big plot point either. I think there's
Yeah,
a lot
I
more other things. I think Bruce Banner's going to be in it way more than any of those guys.
probably, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes, PJ.
Well, thank you for having me back to talk about
Oh, of
Daredevil
course.
again.
Of
I always
course.
enjoy it. I've had a great time, and we'll talk about Punisher next week.
I have a Punisher shirt now.
Nice. I do
I,
too.
I got it on sale at Heroes and Villains, and it fits me pretty well.
Nice.
yeah, I've
Your
been going on
boyfriend's
this.
shirt.
Yeah, I've been. Oh, I know. Oh. like, oh, John Bernthal. Um, yeah, I've been going through this kick where I've been like trying to like wear clothes that actually like fit me a little bit better.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
really in
yeah.
the oversized look, but it's so funny because when I was wearing this like kind of tight black shirt when I did a review for the Lone Chipmunks. And like everyone's like, wow, you lost so much weight. And I go, no, I'm just wearing a piece of clothing that fits my body better.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm all like, yeah, we're gonna do that. And I was just like,
Nice.
is that where that term snatch comes from? That's why people like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
that's snatched.
There you go.
And it's so funny. I'm like, I sit there being like, I know I'm not old, but I'm definitely older. I'm like, oh, is that what the kids say these days?
Sure. Just kidding.
All
I
right.
I don't even know. So
Oh, okay, cool. You're hip and cool. I hang
I
out
don't
with
know. I don't know about hip,
What?
but
No, don't say that. I don't hang out with weirdos. Well, I hang out with weirdos that are like me.
I get that.
um, I
All
know
right.
you are super cool, Nat. You are super cool, and you are
Thank
a big
you.
Daredevil fan, and I love having you on here so that we can talk about all this cool stuff. Because
Me too.
you mentioned a lot of things that I didn't notice, and then I'm all like, oh my god, a few things in there that she didn't notice. So that was
Yeah,
really great.
for sure.
So, uh, we will be back next week to talk about my
Yes.
boyfriend.
Talk
Talk about
about your boyfriend Frank.
my boyfriend Frank. Got a lot of issues, but he's my boyfriend.
Yeah, you
So
can fix him.
I don't know about that. I've gone past. I've gone
Yeah.
past that. I'm like going, you're broken, but you can stick around.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alrighty.
cool. Well, thanks again, Nat, and we'll see all of you guys next week for the Punisher special.
Sounds good. Thank you again. Love you.
Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.